A new member has entered the fray. This battle is no longer fought just by people like myself or, people in this community, but also someone like MrBeast. I've been talking to him for the past couple of days, and he has been in shock about how the reception of Chris coming out as trans has been on the internet. Why? Is that a bad thing? Should we get mad at MrBeast for being in shock? No, we shouldn't. You want to know why? Because that kind of shows you how all normies and people who are not super well read on this stuff don't even see the issue. They don't even understand it. A Sunny V2 video came out. Why Chris will soon be a nightmare for MrBeast. And MrBeast responded to it. This new Sunny V2 video feels really invasive for all the wrong reasons. Like, why did you make this? You delved into the man's marriage and shit. It's just really off-putting and unnecessary. MrBeast responded and said, yeah, this is getting absurd. Chris isn't my nightmare. He's my friend and things are fine. All this transphobia is starting to piss me off. I can tell you without a shadow of doubt that he's been seeing this shit and he's very frustrated. From what I understand, Chris in his personal life has a lot of friends that are super supportive, and that's very important. But because he also is a public-facing person who had to go through, their own transition, their own confirmation of their own gender, and that journey is going to take some time. There's gonna be some changes that come, as far as I understand, from what I have seen of people who have went through gender confirmation, even in this community, right? But there's a lot of confusion about that sort of stuff, and most of the people that want to talk about it are right-wing psychopaths. Okay, we are gonna watch this video, but the reason why I mention this is because ultimately, a lot of people, for all the trans people in here, a lot of people do see this, okay? Remember, if you have people in your lives who have defended you publicly, a lot of normal people see this kind of thing and go, holy fuck, these people are fucking insane, because they are insane. So remember that. They are the fucking deranged ones, okay? The people who make it their life's mission to try and erase trans people out of existence, they're the fucking freaks. They're the nut jobs, okay? You are not alone, and it's not your fucking fault. They can do everything they can to make the one aspect that you have, the one medium that you have for community building and trying to get a fucking fraction of support and hide under the guise of anonymity as well online. They can try and fucking do everything they can in their power to ruin your life, but ultimately you still have resources and you still have a lot of people and normies, especially normies that have a friend that goes through this process, will usually react this way to the overwhelming amount of transphobia. Remember that. It's unfortunate because it's two parts. Part one is that everybody, a lot of people have transphobic opinions, especially if they don't know that there's someone in their vicinity is trans or whatever, right? But then also on top of that, there's money to be made. Juniper said this. She was great on it. She says, transphobia is a legit mental illness. You just cannot explain this. How do you see someone starting to transition and hate them? How can you just live with this much hate? Especially when you love this person beforehand. You follow their content, you like them as a part of the MrBeast crew, but then the moment that you find out that they're actually trans, you're like, oh, fucking, dude, how Chris became the most hated MrBeast member. Let's talk about this transgender. Terrifying. Another aspect of transphobia is that it's lucrative, the ease of which you can build a brand and sell a grift. To become rich off of transphobia is insane. All it takes is one retweet from Matt Walsh and bam, you get a $1 million contract selling anti-woke grilled cheese. Jobbery says, this is one of the most dog shit videos I've ever seen. Sunny's conclusion practically blames Chris for not taking the MrBeast brand into account before transitioning Lamau. Imagine showing such little regard for the welfare of a human being. Exactly. Don't you also think this is just easy clickbaiting for internet hype? Clicks? Okay, this is a great question because it is easy clickbaiting. Does that take away from the fact that it's hateful and fucked up? Here, I'll present an alternative for you. A lot of people don't have the same kind of hatred for gay people, at least overtly. Could you imagine if Sunny V2 made a video, if Chris wasn't trans, but actually gay and came out as gay? Can you imagine a video from a prominent, supposedly quote-unquote centrist YouTube essay guy being like, why Chris coming out as gay is a nightmare for MrBeast? Why didn't he think about MrBeast and the MrBeast properties before coming out as gay? In the year 2022 of our holy Lord, if someone fucking came out and made that video, everyone would be like, dude, what the fuck are you talking about? You could have made that video in 2003. But you can't make that in 2023. Now let's take a look at this video from Sunny V2, why Chris will soon be a nightmare for MrBeast. The description reads, Chris Tyson has been in a bit of hot water recently, and there have been plenty of videos on that, but how will this drama affect MrBeast? What are we talking about? Did Chris Tyson come out with a oopsie? Did he say something that's fucked up? No, he's trans and he openly stated it. That's the drama.
So let's begin by going over the drama before explaining exactly how this will impact the MrBeast channel. In mid-2022, fans began to notice that Chris Tyson was changing. In the early days, he represented the quintessential southern gun and truck loving dude, yet beginning in March 2022, Chris began to display increasingly feminine traits, making tweets such as "I finally got my nails done at a nail tech." Additionally, Chris would
get him! He painted his nails! People are so, like, again, you are so emotionally stunted and so sexually insecure if you think that, like, a dude painting their fucking nails, anyone, I'm not saying Chris in this circumstance, I'm of course talking about myself as well, immediately implies that you're like, there's something awry. You know, something has gone wrong. We gotta stop it.
Highlight that his facial appearance had changed significantly since the start of the pandemic, which accompanied another post reading, "Okay, so in 4 different customs, I had to prove I was myself because I, quote, look nothing like my passport pic, so much that I'm considering updating my passport. Do you see any resemblance?" Prompting replies such as, "You went from man to boy." Chris responded by stating, "Nah, to be honest, I just really started taking my mental health seriously and eating better," yet his Twitter photos kept insinuating.
I love the thriller, like the scary thriller music playing in the background, like as though this is like, if you didn't get it, you know, if you weren't already of the mindset, like, I want to set the mood for you so you're like scared. Okay, guys, this is a bad thing that's happening, okay? Understand that what we're looking at is bad and wrong, okay? I'm gonna set the mood for you.
That Chris was becoming more feminine, with this same kind of look showing up in his MrBeast appearances. For example, on the 6th of January 2023, Beast Reacts uploaded a video titled "I strapped a GoPro to a fish," in which Chris dressed in a way that prompted comments such as, "Chris has been adopting more and more traits that remind me of my grandmother." Okay.
Dead inside. Yeah, true.
So some people just gonna ignore Chris's nails? Chris had to have lost a bet. The look is getting wild. The response to the video then prompted countless viral TikToks, such as this one with 700,000 likes, stating, "How did Chris go from this to this?" While others even made the claim that Carl had turned him gay. Now, this was pretty ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, it is pretty ridiculous, and it is pretty funny. Carl is, he's not even gay. What the fuck?
As Carl isn't even that feminine, and Chris had come out as bisexual years before he and Carl had even met. The true catalyst for Chris Tyson's feminization instead seemed to have come from his marriage. In January 2022, Chris would post a photo with his wife.
Wait, what? The true catalyst for Chris's feminization has come through. That is such a fucking insane statement to just like put out there as though it's a matter of fact that I had to do a quadruple take on that. So like what? His wife and child feminized him? Is that what you're fucking saying? What?
In 22, Chris would post a photo with his wife to his Instagram, yet after this, the family photo stopped altogether.
This is like insane level of stalking, for the record. Again, unhinged, insane. You know, this is, I don't know how to describe it other than like the person who is putting this content out there, the person who is like not even ashamed to post shit like this, only can get away with posting shit like this because he is either A, in an echo chamber, or B, recognizes that there are other unhinged people who also fucking think that this is fine. Like, this is good. This is like, yeah, hell yeah, this makes sense to me. If you're the type of person who watches this and goes, yeah, this makes a lot of sense to me, I don't know what to tell you.
Fans also noticed that he'd removed his wedding ring, with the ring's absence correlating perfectly with the very first post in which he'd painted his nails. Chris confirmed the split in a post from March 2023 reading, "For a little over a year now, me and Katie have been separated," with this also confirming that Chris's transformation began as soon as his marriage came to an end. Chris went from lighting campfires and raising a family with his beautiful wife to now trying to be a wife.
No, I'm glad that this is what you do when you personally are not brave enough to come out and say that this is your feelings on the matter. So you're relegated to like comments that you're fucking reading off of YouTube responses. Some of the most unhinged people on the planet, right under again, under the protection of anonymity, under YouTube videos. That is a psychotic thing to base an entire video off of. Like, this is a human being. We're talking about a fucking human being, dude. That's crazy. It's so incredibly, devastatingly unhinged. You don't know Chris's experiences with his wife and child. You don't know anything. What content creators choose to leave out of their online online presence is on their own volition. Like, they have the right to privacy. I know that because of how fucking parasocial content works and how parasocial relationships work on the internet, everybody thinks they get to have a say in how you conduct yourself and they get to have an opinion on how you live your life. But it is fucking insane. He might have, for example, chosen not to post photos of his child because his child is getting older, and also because of unhinged freakazoids like this guy and the thousands, if not millions of other motherfuckers on the internet that are also literally looking at every minutia, every detail of someone's life and like casting doubt and creating these like psychotic narratives off of it.
As the criticism continued to pile, Chris announced that he'd be taking a break from social media. And while there was a possibility that Chris would make efforts to return to his former self, he'd rather do the opposite and double down on his feminine image.
What the fuck do you mean? Like, while he would make an effort to return to his former self, he doubled down. You're talking about it like it's a KFC double down, bro. What do you mean double down on being like trans? What the fuck? Absolute psychopathic behavior, bro. Have some shame and decency before you fucking put out a video like this. You don't even fucking know this person, dude. You fucking parasocial freak lord. What the fuck?
Showing up to the Kids' Choice Awards looking like this before making the announcement that he'd been doing HRT for approximately 2 months, which according to a quick Google search is the medical process for changing genders.
Did this motherfucker Google what HRT is? Bro, you should not be this comfortable speaking on trans people and trans existence if you don't even know what fucking HRT is, man.
Chris would expand on this by stating, "Informed consent HRT saved my and many others' lives. The hurdles GNC people have to jump through to get life-saving gender-affirming healthcare in a first world country is wild to me. Just let people make informed decisions about their own bodies," which received a positive response from both Carl and MrBeast, who wrote, "Got you, I did one more heart than Carl because I'm a better friend." While his co-workers expressed positivity, others weren't so welcoming.
Yeah, others. I wonder who those others were. You motherfucker. Like, why are you removing yourself from this equation? You literally made a 9-minute video on this. You absolute freakazoid. Bro, this video is peppered with like all the anti-trans sentiment. You literally said Chris doubled down on being trans, okay, which is insane. I think the problem here is that MrBeast's whole brand is about fun and enjoyable videos, and now the whole thing is getting kind of too political. It's a dilemma. Trans existence should not be political. The fuck are you talking about? Chris also said that he was bisexual. Why was that not a fucking issue? That's political too, right? Like, just let trans people exist, man. What are you talking about? It's not like Chris was like, oh, let's fucking kill all cishet men or some shit. You're doing the age-old gamer bullshit. There's only 2 genders, okay? Man, political. A video game like Call of Duty that is about expressly defending American imperialism, not political, because that's a man that you're playing with. A video game that has a female character in it, oh, that's political. You're doing that, but for literally the existence of a human being, okay? Like, think about that. You're basically looking at that situation, looking at someone who's changing, okay, who's becoming more comfortable in who they are, and you're going, I don't like that. You should erase yourself out of existence. I don't want to see that. How can you be so comfortable saying some insane shit like that? It's crazy.
There goes a father figure the kid won't ever be able to look up to. Hard times create strong men create good times create weak men, and weak men create hard times. Weak man times. Chris responded to this.
Yeah, Live with Evan is a strong man, you know? Chris is a weak man, right? Because he's trans, he's going through gender confirmation. But Live with Evan, that's a strong man right there. What the fuck are you saying, dude? You're tweeting on the internet. It's not like you just hunted a fucking mammoth and skinned it so you can fucking wear it around yourself to brave the elements. You're a fucking chirper on Twitter. You're replying to the drama alert account. The fuck do you mean, hard man? You're a pussy, and a significantly bigger pussy than any trans person that is a public-facing trans person who openly fucking talks about it, because their lives turn to shit immediately by other pussies like you. You get fucking doxxed and endlessly harassed, swatted. Your fucking family members' information is revealed. It's psychotic.
Comment by stating, "This is just more dog whistling that somehow trans and GNC folks aren't safe around kids. Tucker begs for me to come back when I leave for like 2 days to film."
A quick Google search showed me that GNC means gender non-confirming, so I could make up my mind about about how I feel about that particular matter too. That's what I'm doing here. A quick Google search. I don't know what these fucking words mean. I'm learning too much. I don't like it.
He is so loved and happy. Kids aren't born with hate, it's taught by people like you, and my child will only know love. I know I'm going to be a great parent, and so is every other person who puts the love of their child before everything. I made this decision because I wanted to show up as my best and happiest self for him. In a way, this was for Tucker. Chris's response received some positivity such as, I'm convinced you're an amazing father. Tucker is lucky to have you and also lucky to have all of those who surround and support you in his life, as well as I adore that, I'm glad you made that decision. It's so much easier to be a parental figure when you're not struggling with dysphoria, yet he'd also receive an equal amount of backlash. You ripped apart your family and took a father figure away from your son.
Like a normal human would look at this video and cover it as this way. Are you ready? Some people were understandably supportive of this decision because they have empathy. Others were fucking freaks and decided to take matters into their own hands. Notice how the fucking freaks were the ones that got 1,000 likes and the supportive people only got like 3 likes. You know what I mean? Mind your own damn fucking business.
Just so you could paint your nails and act zesty. Pathetic. He will get torn apart at school, won't want to have friends around his house. A life full of difference and being alone. Must have missed the point in that tweet. How's this for him when you're depriving him of a father figure?
It's like, bro, how about you fucking worry about also not having a father figure in your life, considering that, you know, you got Mr. Bitcoin in your fucking, as your username. Go search for a father figure, okay? Maybe you wouldn't have become this fucking demon if you had a good one. That's the funniest, the funniest type of transphobia is the same as homophobia, by the way. It's always the same. It's just that, like, trans people are now an acceptable target. Gay people are, by and large, not considered an appropriate target anymore. So the very same people who would have been fucking homophobic 20 years ago are doing it for trans people. It's a cowardly way to say that you just don't want to see someone who's trans. That's it. You're making it hard, dumbass. Your child's life will be really difficult because I'm gonna fucking ruin it personally by constantly talking about how his father or his parent is a fucking freak and constantly harass the child.
Figure. Although Chris wasn't altered by these comments, as he'd once again reiterate his certainty in a new post reading, "It's never too late to start being yourself," which received praise from MrBeast as well as Nolan and Carl. However, these comments also added extra fuel to the fire. In a few years, look back at this thread and remember they were never your friends. Only yes men cowards. Hope you come out of this safe.
Yeah, Alpha Dog came in, dude. He knows. Bro, worry about your widow's peak, motherfucker, okay? Jesus Christ.
MrBeast responded to this with a simple opinion irrelevant ratio, to which the original commenter would state, "I have 30 followers, so go ahead and ratio me. I'll still rest easy knowing that I'm not a coward who idly sits by watching my friend ruin his own life." In some ways, it was nice to see the boys standing up for Chris on Twitter. However, the situation has already begun to change the dynamic within the video.
No! 52,000 dislikes in a fucking video? No! This entire video, the reason why I mentioned this is the funniest way to do like transphobia, and people used to do it with homophobia as well. Let me tell you, it's the funniest way to just like be transphobic without like openly fucking saying what you mean, even though Sonny does make a lot of statements in his supposedly centrist piece where he's like very obviously not in favor of this. Chris didn't take into account MrBeast's content before coming out as trans. That's really fucked up. He should have just resigned, you know? Not have a job anymore. That's what the right thing to do would be in this circumstance. Love that. Thank you.
For example, in a recent live stream titled Opening 1,000 Mystery Art Boxes, Chris would once again dress in quite a feminine way, and while everybody participated as usual, the energy and vibe didn't feel nearly as smooth as it normally does. It felt as though there was an unaddressed elephant in the room, and therefore everybody was in their head, as opposed to being in the present moment enjoying each other's company. Maybe everybody was simply too busy opening packages, but Chris did make these bizarre jokes about Jimmy being female, making him incredibly uncomfortable.
Oh my god, Jimmy, look, they drew you. Jimmy, they drew you so well. It looks just like you.
Oh, yes.
Oh my god, it's Jimmy.
How did fan art? This is what we were looking.
Damn, I can't believe that like a live stream that went on done by people who don't regularly live stream had awkward moments, dude. Let's parasocially project about this. But of course, no one will look to this and go, wow, how fucking weird that you are literally reading the worst possible reading from this because of your own fucking psychopathic opinion on the matter and projecting your insecurities to like other people in this circumstance by hyper-focusing on a singular moment over the course of a fucking however long hour live stream conducted by people who don't do live streams. But of course, that's not weird. The weird thing is that Chris is trans. That's the weird thing. I'm not weird for parasocially fucking analyzing this. He's like also trying to guide you into feeling this way by putting text on it too. He's like, hey guys, it's not enough that I put in this scary music about Chris's fucking transition, right? But I need you to fucking know Jimmy doesn't like it. He quite hates it, as a matter of fact. Also, one of the other aspects of this is like something that I routinely mention, which is like trans people should be allowed to make cringe jokes, okay? I don't know why the fuck everybody literally jumps on that shit as though this is like a way to eviscerate trans people from public consciousness and existence. Anytime, God forbid, a trans person isn't like objectively hilarious in every fucking moment. You know what I mean? It's crazy. It makes no fucking sense. Like, you as a cishet are so pathetically unfunny on the timeline regularly, and yet nobody goes, oh yeah, we gotta eradicate the cisheads. Of course it's not gonna happen. That's not how anything works. But the one fucking moment that like a trans person makes a joke and it's like not super well received immediately, it's like, oh dude, look, see, they're awkward. They hate Chris. They don't want to be around him.
Looking for. Be brave, be honest, be kind, MrBeast. That is my tagline.
Becoming even weirder when each member started to pay each other compliments.
Hey, nice shirt. Thanks, dude, nice shirt.
Hey, nice shirt.
Thanks, dude, nice shirt.
Thanks.
I think it makes me more frustrated because I know these people personally. Like, I don't know Chris, but I've met Jimmy and I know Carl very well. You know what I mean? Like, it's just like, I know. I talk to them behind the scenes. I know how they feel about these sorts of things. So it makes me additionally fucking frustrated when I hear some random dipshit all the way from down under making parasocial fucking commentary on things he doesn't understand. Like, yeah, they got real fucking awkward when Carl came in, gayifying Chris one more time.
Nice shirt.
Nice shoes.
For the most part, the live stream was devoid of awkward moments. However, it would act as fodder for another 100 million views worth of drama and criticism. Chris likely believes that people will
like, you look at this and you don't think that there's something wrong with this. I'm gonna miss the goat. 28 million views. Dead. Chris sitting closer to Jimmy, 20 million views. Name one in the room. MrBeast confronts Chris after coming out dead. This is literally a problem. Like, a normal human should look at this and go, holy fuck, people are so insane. So if you're trans and you see this kind of thing and you get scared, remember, people in the real world, when they do see this, they recognize it as unfucking hinged, okay? Normies, like MrBeast himself, saw this wave of aggro, over-the-top, psychotic, anti-trans behavior and literally were like, I didn't even know what this was like. I didn't even realize how fucking bad it got.
Another 100 million views worth of drama and criticism. Chris likely believes that people will slowly adapt to his new appearance over time, but is this really going to happen? Well, maybe.
Well, not if I have something to say about it. That's right. Will people fucking let go of Chris transitioning? Not if I've got any fucking power in my bones to make sure that people fucking get mad. Oh no!
Maybe. It's difficult to say as the situation is fairly unique, especially when considering Chris's reputation and influence. However, if Chris continues to transition, would it be unreasonable to say that he could jeopardize some of the personality traits which made him a successful member in the
That's insane, dude. That is insane. Oh man, he's jeopardizing the fucking franchise, dude. Yeah, the content is suffering because I don't want to see a trans person. So maybe Chris should fucking resign.
first place? Perhaps the opposite will happen and he'll instead pick up new personality traits that better resonate with the current MrBeast audience. This was put forward in many comments supportive of Chris, who implied that there'll be millions of queer kids who look up to him, although this doesn't necessarily mean that it'll add any value to the videos. MrBeast has likely
Why? What the fuck? It's just not gonna fucking add value to the videos. If queer people are looking up to you, who gives a fuck? They should also think about their corporate opportunities later on in life and decide not to be fucking queer. Fucking wild, dude.
Cultivated a massive LGBT audience, all of whom are already watching anyway. And if we've learned anything from Hollywood in recent years, it's that adding over-the-top LGBT characters for the sake of relatability rarely works as intended. And
Bro, he's talking about this like Chris's transition is like a business decision. This is giving like, why is Lizzo in this fucking movie energy? Like, this is not a character, it's a human being, you fucking dingus, you donkey. What the fuck is wrong with you? Of course, this is the fallen ninja fan, Sunny V2. If you remember, that was the first time I was like, I think Sunny V2 has done like a relatively decent job, at least in the videos that I've watched, about like not always being over the top, like showing his like genuine perspective, until I watched that ninja video. And in that ninja video, he was literally going bananas mode. He's like, Ninja fucking lied. Ninja lied to his audience. He went down this fucking path for money. He started fucking not being problematic. Like, here, this is the ninja clip. Here.
Post something or make something pandering to what is popular, such as the hot topic of racial inequality. Even the people who agree with you on the topic lose respect for you because they can sense the lack of authenticity and the fact that you're only posting it to appease your audience. On top of this, all Ninja is doing is alienating his audience and speeding up his demise because, as Sneeko said best,
successful people don't play any side politically because they're too smart to know that they just be alienating 50% of their clients.
This video is awesome because it has Sneeko in it. My favorite content creator, Sneeko. Bro said, as Sneeko said it best. I did not know that he used a Sneeko quote for this. Oh, man. It's funny because, like, Sneeko literally also went in the exact opposite direction of that quote.
On top of this, it can be uncomfortable and unrelatable for the silent majority, although, as we have seen, a situation like Chris's does have the potential to create an otherworldly amount of discussion, which could be seen as a benefit for the MrBeast brand.
Drama is good for growth, 100%. That would be an easy way to up my
So you're
if
a
I got
Keemstar
it.
The problem is, this type of situation is probably the last thing that MrBeast wants to attract.
You can't say anything without being canceled. Trans people exist everywhere, okay? And it's rarely a point of contention until some fucking right-wing freakazoid points to it and goes, let's all fucking unload on this person. Let's all unload all of our anxiety. Let's all get mad that this person fucking exists next to cis people. There are hundreds of thousands of trans people that currently exist in society, no matter what the fuck you have to say about it. The only reason why it turns into a point of contention is because right-wing freakazoids literally go, that's fucked up, we gotta do something about it. Or they do the lighter version of that, which is like, oh, a lot of people are gonna get fucking mad about this, I say, because of Chris's selfish decision to fucking transition while being a part of the MrBeast franchise is fucked up.
As he's forced to agree with Chris's position, as he has no way of manipulating the situation without being painted as the bad guy. It's a lose-lose situation for MrBeast. I think Jimmy is in an inescapable situation. If he kicks out Chris, cancelled. If he don't, his channel will die for real. An inescapable situation is a pretty good way of describing the drama, which is also why it deserves—
Yeah, trans people, like being around a trans person is just like, is hell. Is like literally you're locked in a prison. Bro, it's not about the fucking person. It's about influencing the younger generation. They're pushing an agenda. I hope you understand that, like, Chris is not pushing an agenda. Chris is just being himself. This person is pushing an agenda. And even if you were to say Chris is pushing an agenda, that agenda would be what? That you should be comfortable with your gender, that you should be comfortable with your sexuality. That's the agenda. You have a problem with that agenda? And your agenda is what? You shouldn't be comfortable with your sexuality or your gender? Is that what your agenda is? Because your agenda sucks, if that's the point.
Deserves the harsh label of being a nightmare. Jimmy has no option but to publicly express acceptance of Chris's transition, as silence or even worse, disapproval.
Like, how can, this is the one last thing I gotta say. I keep pausing this part of the video, but how can you say people are terrified of speaking out against trans people when you made this fucking video and it has 100,000 likes? You made this video, didn't even feel feel shame to make this video, and you literally put it up knowing full well that you are going to garner a massive audience and get a lot of fucking attention for it. Clearly, it doesn't matter. Being transphobic pays, okay? The idea that like trans people have any amount of power other than basically chirping at you on fucking Twitter is a laughable one, especially when at the legislative level, the Republican Party is literally doing everything they can to eradicate trans existence, making sure that you can't be trans in public, making sure that you can't actually transition, forcibly detransitioning people, trying to kidnap trans children and take them away from their fucking parents if they are good parents and understanding. Like, all of these things are happening in the United States of America, and dumb motherfuckers on the timeline, on the sphere of this this idiotic hellscape that we know as Twitter, go, well, all that's happening, but someone actually fucking yelled at me and said I'm transphobic because I said trans people are pedophiles, and that's actually the real oppression. It's crazy. There are motherfuckers like Matt Walsh with millions of followers that like openly agitate. They basically are fucking advocating for a trans genocide. Meanwhile, a couple fucking anime avatar trans people yelled at you and said you're transphobic. Oh no. It's so exhausting, dude. These people called a fucking bomb threat to the Boston Children's Hospital, okay? A fake bomb threat because Libs of TikTok and Matt Walsh were lying and saying they're just like chopping the penises of teenagers there, okay? Like, that's a lie. It's a gross lie, but they can get away with that.
However, in accepting Chris's transition, Jimmy implies that this will be the new normal within the content, thus annoying a different group of people, many of whom will never express their true feelings and may rather simply click on fewer MrBeast videos. If this is the case, Jimmy has no option but to accept.
This is fucking bullshit, okay? Guess what, dude? Fuck those people. Like I said, I am one of the largest Twitch streamers on the motherfucking planet. If I can straight up routinely fucking do political commentary while also making it a trans inclusive place, everyone else can too, okay? And no one should be fearful of this. This is a way to try and stop people from allowing their trans friends to continue being a part of the conversation, to continue being a part of the content. As long as you fucking put your head down and keep making the same exact shit that you've been making, your audience is going to continue growing. Just treat trans people like they're people. That's it. Nothing is different. Nothing is different.
This fate, as removing Chris from the videos in any kind of way could create an even more severe media firestorm. The only clean solution, should things go south, might be for Chris to resign himself, and even then rumors and bad press will be unavoidable. Whether it be arrogance or ignorance, Chris seems oblivious to how this whole thing might impact Jimmy, forgetting that he achieved his current level of success by avoiding this exact type of drama.
That's bullshit, man. That's fucking bullshit. It is so insane. Yeah, you should resign because you're a trans, dude. Thanks.